The butterfly effect is a theory that explains how one small incident can have a big impact on the future. Life is delicate, and it's important to treat it as such every single day. Recently, I realized how delicate and intricate life truly is. Welcome to the Babymama Effect. I think I've experienced many rebirths throughout my lifetime. Adolescence, adulthood, and motherhood all felt very transformative, especially motherhood. For the first time, I was responsible for a life outside of my own. This large weight of responsibility had now attached itself to me, and at first, I wasn't sure how to handle it. I never thought that I'd have a child so young. I knew I was responsible, but I was concerned about finances, as most people do. Would I be able to provide her with a comfortable life I was given as a child? I spoke to her dad about it, and he told me not to let finances be the reason we do not have this child. I thought back to the time when I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to afford the house I've now been in for 4 years. My sister told me that if I wanted to be in the space, do it, and that my income would grow to accommodate. She was right. So I decided that I would have the baby and allowed all the worries to fall away. Her dad would say often, "At least she will always know she was created out of love." I used to find comfort in the statement because a lot of folks don't even have love, but still decide to have children anyway. Love is important, but it's not everything. My pregnancy was very easy, and I adapted to my role as a mother very quick. Being attentive, loving, and organized when it came to her schedule wasn't hard for me at all. It wasn't difficult for me to consider her before anyone or anything. What was hard was feeling like I was doing it alone. I distinctly remember feeling alone in the house together, as if I was a single mom. My mentality has always been, I can do it for myself, and that served to my detriment in the relationship. I didn't ask for all that I needed. I think I was waiting for him to be genuinely happy to help, but it never came. Love is not enough. Although I had experienced many rebirths, it wasn't until this day I had experienced death. Her dad was getting ready to leave for the day, but instead ended up falling asleep. As he slept, with his phone in hand, I thought to myself, let me grab it and put it on the charger for him. For weeks, if not months, I had this nagging feeling. I had gone through his phone before, but always left feeling like there was something else I wasn't finding. This time I looked somewhere I hadn't searched before. I could see on the baby monitor that my daughter had just woken up from her nap. As I stood there in the kitchen, looking at naked photos and messages from a strange woman in his phone, my hands shook uncontrollably. I thank God for my baby because if I wasn't a mother, someone would have went to jail that day. Instead, I grabbed my baby from her crib and with her in hand, woke him up to let him know that when we returned from the park, he would need to be gone with all of his belongings. What if he had never fallen asleep that day? I would have never seen those messages. I would have never realized how much more I deserved. I would have continued overworking to compensate for his lack of. I would have never found my blessing. Having to save face for your child is hard. It took everything out of me not to break down and crumble right then and there. When you're a mother, you don't have time to be sad, to cry, to be angry, because that little person needs you all the time. Regardless of my feelings, she needed to be fed, bathed, rocked to sleep, and most importantly, loved. The next few weeks were the hardest of my life. I had to just not think about the situation because when I did, I couldn't help but cry. I would save my moments of sadness for when she went to sleep. But if I couldn't hold back my tears, I would make sure to go to the other room and collect myself. I didn't tell many people about what happened. Honestly, I couldn't even say the words. It was too shocking and heartbreaking to repeat. I could have never guessed he would betray me in that way. At least she will always know she was created in love. Did he know from the beginning it would end up this way? At least she will always know she was created in love. Now this statement made my skin crawl. Was it love? Is someone who would cheat on you while pregnant and after having a family together capable of loving you? I'm still not entirely sure. My grandma has called me Princess Butterfly since I could remember. I'm not sure why exactly she chose this nickname for me. Maybe she knew one day I would go through the death of my old self like a caterpillar, and that like a butterfly, I would transform and emerge as an entirely new creature. After having to truly look at myself and assess the damages caused along with the beauty I possess, I told myself that I would never allow anyone to make me feel this way again. I'd rather be alone than being unhappy in a relationship. I focused on myself more and more and enjoyed each moment with my daughter. I had more appreciation for all the little moments we shared, like doing her hair, cuddling, taking baths together, and going on trips to the park. I went out with friends again, worked out, treated myself to good food, started getting my nails done regularly, and bought myself some new clothes. I had to spend all that time and care I put into him back into myself. Life felt much simpler. I realized how little I focused on myself before. Each day became a little easier. I was able to talk about my past situation, and I began to have less moments of sadness. Eventually, I felt good enough to go out on my first date after 4 years. I felt like a kid again. I was so nervous. What will it be like? Will I like him? What will we talk about? What will it be like to kiss a new person? Will he accept me having a child? These questions were a lot to wrap my mind around. Will he accept me having a child? This was so new. Yes, I had been on dates before, but I had never been a mother dating. There's so many worries that go along with having a child and dating. I wanted to make sure, not only for myself, but for my daughter, that I made the right decision in who I was with next. I wouldn't be the mother who consistently brought new men around. Also, I wasn't going to waste any more time with a man who didn't deserve my energy. I absolutely took a leap of faith, and I'm so glad I did. He was different, and really restored my faith in love and my confidence in myself. I didn't realize how beat down I was until finding a man who loved me in the right ways. I'm really grateful to have the negative experiences, though, because without them, I don't think I would fully appreciate the good moments I experienced today. What if he had never fallen asleep that day? I would have never seen those messages. I would have never realized how much more I deserve. I would have continued overworking to compensate for his lack of. I would have never found my blessing. I would have never found true reciprocated love. Although I was hurt by it all, I never wanted my daughter to feel any of the negativity of her parents not being together. I wanted to make the transition as smooth as possible for her. I tried my best to leave my ego and pride out of it with every interaction. I even thought we could eventually be friends, because in order to effectively co-parent, you do have to have a good relationship. I could say this was wishful thinking. Although I felt like I could be selfless and take my emotions out of it, not everyone can do the same. Co-parenting feels like making a structure out of building blocks that continue to be knocked down. Sometimes things are smooth, and other times it's very rocky. It's frustrating, it's sad, it's exhausting. It feels like a never-ending battle. I'm grateful to have a man in my life now who supports me through every step, is there to be my shoulder to cry on, and my voice of reason. I'm grateful to be raising a beautiful, healthy, and happy child. I am grateful to have recognized my power and to turn a moment in my life that could have broken me into my biggest blessing. I will forever be grateful for that moment that changed my life's direction. Life is delicate, and it's important to treat it as such every single day. This is the Babymama Effect.